It is the appointed time. At this time, I'd like to call the Washington County Board of Commissioners together. We always like to start our meetings out with an invocation and pledge allegiance. Today, our invocation will be given by Jim Hendricks of the Community of Christ Church.
Community of Christ Church is the free LDS church in Independence. Oh. See, this is like church. Everybody's sitting in the back row.
Have to come early to get those back seats.
If you'd bow with me, ladies and gentlemen. Heavenly Father, we come before you in this meeting and ask that you would bless us with your spirit that might abide with us, dwell in us, and help to lead us in the direction that you would have us to go. We've had difficulty in our county, Father. We've had flooding and some devastation and some people who were hurt and had damage to their property, and we pray that they would be blessed, that they might be right again and that they might recover from difficulties that they've had. Those kind of things, Father, drain us in places of our budget that we don't usually have accounted for. We ask that as the budget process goes, our funds might be extend to cover all the contingencies and all those things. Those gathered here come to this meeting to discuss and make recommendations and things, and the commission gathered here to make decisions and to watch over that involved in the county and to make sure that it goes the right way. So we ask a blessing upon the commission and those that are assembled here, that they might be blessed with harmony and peace, discussions, and Father, we pray for these things in the name of Jesus Christ, our Savior.
Amen. Thank you,
Thanks
Jim.
so much. This time, I'd like to invite Lieutenant Colonel Gary Stolz, United States Air Force retire. Please.
Please rise, put your hand over your heart, and join me in the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, both of you, for coming and for your service to our community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary.
This time we have the consent agenda. The consent agenda is a means of expediting routine matters which comes before the commission for approval. The consent portion of the agenda is approved by one non-debatable motion. If any commissioner wishes to remove an item from the consent portion of the agenda, that item becomes the first order of business on the regular agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion to approve today's consent agenda consisting of items A through F, and I would like to remove item G and let that be the first item on our regular agenda. But item A is consideration of auditor-approved claims for payment for August 8th, 2018 through August 21st of 2018. Item B, consideration of regular commission meeting minutes of August 7th, 2018. Work meeting minutes of August 13th, 2018, and work meeting minutes of August 15th, 2018. Item C, consideration of administrative adjustments for real property. Item D, consideration of administrative adjustments on personal property. Item E, consideration of application for property tax abatements. And item F, consideration of county predation management plan for 2019.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. First item now becomes consideration of a legal search engine agreement for the county attorney's office and Eric Clark, who have been working on this item.
Yeah, so this is the attorney's office subscribed to a legal search engine that most law firms have to end up subscribing to one of these. It's interesting, there are several competitors popping up, so there's a lot of movement going on, and we're going to switch providers. We've been with Westlaw. We're going to switch with Lexis. Cut not quite in half our current bill, but from the bid that we got from Westlaw, we were able to get Nexus to a package that fit our needs better at best price. So the version that you guys have in front of you doesn't have all the blanks filled in because I filled that in and hit print and then left that on my printer in my office. So I'll get that in the morning.
I'd just like to hear that cut in half.
That sounds good, doesn't it?
With everything going up, it's always fun to hear
I'm
that.
pretty sure that in years past, I remember maybe 10 years ago, I think the county attorney's office was using LexisNexis, and so competition has created some savings then.
Yeah.
Thank you for your negotiations and shopping and trying to get the greatest amount of value out of our taxpayers' dollars. I really appreciate that. I speak on behalf of the commission. We all do. I'd make a motion that we approve pending final attorney review the agreement with LexisNexis for a legal search engine.
I'll second that motion.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Go to our regular agenda. The first item is consideration of purchase request, but with Ray Boyer, the clerk auditor's office.
Okay, the first purchase requisition we have is for building maintenance and it's for a 15-ton air conditioning unit for the sheriff's office. That's a total of $11,988. The next department we have is the roads department. The first one is for the striping on the new chipped areas of the county, and that came to a total of $42,777. The next one we have is for equipment fuel, and that comes to a total of $28,105.27. And these next four are for the same thing. It's all for oil for the chipping projects, but what they do is they bill per load. So each of these purchase requisitions is for a load of oil. The first one is for $13,684.59. The next one is for $13,171.37. Third one is for $12,773.05. The final one is for $13,998.65. And that takes care of the roads department. The next couple are for the sheriff's office, and the first one is for 2 gas heated dryers, and that comes to a total of $19,230. And if you remember from the last commission meeting, you approved a washer and a dryer. It turns out that the dryer didn't fit where it needed to go, and so this is replacing that dryer.
So we didn't buy the original.
No. We bought the washer, just not the dryer.
All right.
And then the final one is a blanket PO for commissary purchases and a total of $50,000. And unless there's any questions, that is all.
And commissary purchases are items that are for sale for the inmates of prison, be toothpaste, toothbrushes, all of that kind of material.
Well, and we sell those and make money back.
Yeah, it's an outlay, but it comes back. It's reimbursed, so it's correct.
Well, Mr. Chairman, if there's no other concerns, I'll make a motion that we approve the purchase request as outlined by Ray.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Number 2 is presentation, which is Give Your Land a Hand, an app to identify cleanup areas. We have Megan Honeycutt. Sorry.
So back in the springtime, I was talking with Lachelle about possible solutions and getting some mapping going with the Give Your Lands a Hand committee. She said that they would go out and survey the county and look for cleanup sites, and I thought it might be a good opportunity to do some data collection and come up with. So this story mapping application kind of serves as two functions. this first tab here is going to be, for the points. Actually, let me start with the storyline first. All right, so these tabs here are the cleanup locations for the previous cleanups in the county, and kind of gives a summary and some pictures of what happened at each cleanup. And would like to continue adding to it and building upon the story as we have more cleanups. So, we've got Confluence Park, Santa Clara River Reserve, so it shows the site, cleanup site location, pictures. Had some help with Sarah since I wasn't at the previous cleanups. Big help in the project. Pioneer Park, last one. So going back to the first tab, this is, all of these points here are the result of a survey that the general public or anyone who's going to be volunteering in these cleanups will take. So there's a link here. This survey link is also on the Give Your Lands a Hand website. So you can go in and select, survey the area, select what trash items you see, and this is subject to change as we figure out what we really want to collect, the data we want to collect. Go in. And there's logic set up with the survey. So if the questions with the asterisk, if you select yes, it'll drop down to another question. How big is the trash site? Select the size that quantifies the trash site. Is there recyclable waste? Yes. What kind of waste do you see? Submitted by. So we can figure out who's actually taking the survey. So is it a visitor? Is it a citizen? Is it a county employee or a Give Your Lands a Hand member? So if you're taking the survey on your mobile phone, you can turn on your location services and it'll zoom right to it. If you're doing it from a computer, you can select your location and you can upload an image of the trash site. Submit. Then this point goes directly on this map in real time. Survey point I just took, and you can see all of the attributes for each question, which I thought would be good for helping decide where the areas of cleanup should be determined. If we have people collecting data, then we can use that data and make a better decision as to where we're going to be spending our time. On the back side of the survey, we have stats. So for everything that's collected, we've got numbers to go along with it. Percentages, counts. Really monitor what's being collected. As far as the story map, I think it's going to serve as two separate purposes. One for internally for the committee to help or make better decisions, and then two, kind of recap what happened in these cleanups. So this will be hosted on the Give Your Lands a Hand website, and I'm going to hopefully try to get the survey out there as well. Questions?
I think this is great. Megan presented this, well, she's presented a couple times as we've hammered it through at the committee level. But for example, the other day we met with the Forest Service, and all of a sudden we started having a discussion about some areas up Turkey Road where there'd been, some real challenges they had. And I think the advantage, obviously it'll take a while for the citizens to get used to using this, but the public land cleanup, we have a lot of partners, whether it's for example, our Jeep clubs, our ATV clubs have been extremely active in helping us, and other groups and organizations. And I think even some of our partners with the BLM and the Forest Service, they don't know, because heck, you have to do about 10 reams of paperwork sometimes to get something done. And for them to know that they have a partner with the county and with citizens in the county, and I think going out and helping them to understand that they could use this just as, as they're out there and they find these spots. Because I've seen on Facebook, I think all of us have seen on Facebook, all of a sudden somebody will be out, and one that comes to mind is there was some homeless camp down along the river that was just really cluttery. People were on there making a comment and stuff. And what'll be great is if we can get this so that at least they'll know how to do something about it. In this particular case, the frustration just came out on Facebook where they'd taken a picture and just said, "Isn't this a shame?" But they didn't have any way to even start soliciting or organizing a cleanup. So it'll take a little while, but at least we'll have these spots identified where then we can coordinate with the civic groups, the scout groups, the different organizations that are helping us in this cleanup. And then even if we organize it as the committee, we've committed to organize, 4 to 5 cleanups a year as far as committee, but we're also encouraging others to join us in this effort. So once again, Megan, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Iverson, thank you for your initiative with Give Your Lands a Hand. You've led the charge on that. Appreciate it.
Moving on to the next item is a presentation from the Trails website, and we have Scott Messel.
Hey, before we go to Scott, go ahead. Yeah. But I mean, since we do have the community television here, one thing that we're really kicking off on the 8th, we're having multiple cleanups in the county, and there'll be flyers. There's flyers outside, and we'll be getting that information out. But kind of kicking off this year's cleanup with in relations to 9/11, Patriots Day. We're doing it on the 8th.
Save the date.
Save the date, yeah.
9/8.
There's going to be opportunities no matter where you live in the county. We have 3 great spots.
Yeah, the hope is that, as with Patriots Day in association with 9/11, that, it gave an opportunity for people to go out and show pride in their community. And so we only handle 1 cleanup on a day, but we've come up with 3 locations, and we're trying to rally a bunch of people to come and help with that. And with this Give Your Lands a Hand, we just hope to get out there and do more education, help people become aware of this program, and like this survey that Megan just showed you. And so there's some good momentum there. Now on to the trails. So a little over a year ago, started working with some of the different shareholders. Wanted to see a way there's different cities and groups, whether it's St. George, Washington City, Hurricane, Santa Clara, or the BLM or Forest Service. There's trails all over in our county. We have over 360 trails in our county. And wanted to find a way that we can be working together as a community to master plan the trail system throughout our county and work together as partners in trying to make a better network, but also improve understanding. We have tourists coming here. We've been working a lot with the different departments in the county as well, and just trying to spread the message. We want people to be able, when they come to town, or if it's someone that lives here, there's all these different websites out there that, maybe a bike shop has a couple of trails on it, or a rock climbing club or a hiking group will have some of the trails. And we wanted to have an inventory of all the trails and make it usable and as user-friendly as possible for both visitors and residents to be able to find out about the trails and where they are and get the pertinent information that they have. So this large group that we gathered, we had a lot of focus groups and trying to figure out what we really wanted to have our trails, for lack of a better word, website or app, how we wanted it to function and what we wanted it to be able to accomplish. And so what we have here is we're still ironing out some things, and this is what we're calling phase 1 of the plan. We received some funding from the state through tourism to continue on with the trail system. But have Sasha with Flitch. Flitch has been our partner to come up with our Trails app and website. And so Sasha's here and she'll just go through, give you an update on where we are working on it, and I can answer any questions afterwards.
So he summarized it. I did want to mention it's actually going to go hand in hand with and a hand. But as people start hiking the trails and interacting with outdoors a little bit more, they're gonna come across trash, and I think it's gonna be a great thing. When the first time you visit the site, you'll have a tutorial, so users can learn how to do it. So there's five main regions of Washington County, split up into desert, alpine, urban, mesa, and canyon. And we put a little hot spot clickable for Zion, Snow Canyon, and Gooseberry Mesa because they're really popular. And then we have a trail types filter for different users. We have bikers, hikers, equestrian, and then OHV, which is anything from motocross to racers. And we have filters right here. You can filter, I'll show you in a second. You can view the trails list, and then GPS to view my location if you're traveling. And settings, we have imperial to metric. Show you how it works. So filter trails, you can come in here, say you're going with your grandma or your kids. Make it easy, you can filter difficulty on there. The good part about you guys making your own, Washington County, is that a lot of the apps that exist already, they're all open, so anyone can contribute the data. And so you don't know if you're going on an easy trail or if someone just said, oh, this is easy. So this being accurate is going to be a huge deal.
Yeah, because if Commissioner Rinstrom tells you it's easy, you need to get a second opinion.
I'd probably need to get my pacemaker charged up.
Yeah, you can filter the length of the trail. If you're looking for a really long adventure or just a quick hike with the family. Traffic density. If you want to avoid Zion, it's a little overpopulated right now. Find a local boost business in that area as well. Route type. Loop in and back connector. Set the map to zoom out if you're all the way zoomed in. Yeah, there's a trails list here too. You can go in here and just kind of pick, oh, I want to go on an OHV. I'm going to click Bull Valley. Different. We'll click on the urban section. There's going to be a little bit more information, how many trails are in the area. Still up for discussion, but. And. Yeah, I'm looking. So here's the Zen Trail. You click on the trail. This is a biker trail, but you notice if you don't want the biking trails to show up, you just toggle it on and off. Super easy for the user. It has quick highlights, length, surface, trail traffic, and then difficulty. Then we'll have an image here as well. And then we have a trails page. It has basic information on the left, a description about the local area, how to get there, elevation map. You can see it goes uphill, downhill. And then we got a couple buttons here. You can get directions directly from where you are. Share it on social media, download GPS, or print it. If you're at a hotel, you don't have internet access, you can print the map. Then we have similar to this trail, and then nearby, also these will have images. So you can kind of see what's in the area, or what's going to be. And then below we'll have videos and images as well.
Who will add the videos and the?
We're doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, we're currently doing that. We're working on uploading all the content.
So is this live yet?
No.
Not yet.
So a little better.
So what we're hoping with photography is that we'll have different points of interest along the trail that, people may be interested in, and they can see where they are on the trail. And some of the more popular trails will have some drone footage of it, and but that it's just not set up yet for that. What our goal is with this is Flitch, after we built this website, is they'll be training staff on how to continue to keep this update. Let's say that with a trail system that the trailhead is improved, or a new restroom facility, or maybe the trail is extended, staff can go in and do the updates and changes in the description, so it always stays current.
Are we gonna be able to use BLM trails? Cause I know they've been a little reluctant to.
Yeah, we've been,
Working with them.
Okay. Great. 369 trails, you say?
yeah, there were some trails that are considered like unofficial or official trails, and so we've tried to really work with them, be sensitive to the ones that they would prefer not be out there. So we've been working with them.
And on the trails description, we've put a lot of the information that they've emailed to us. Part of the Red Cliffs Desert Reserve up in Snow Canyon, they wanted a message about the wildlife. Got that added too. So there's a lot of input from BLM and everyone.
And you can see that there's the different types of users. We looked at all the different user groups that would be out there. It'd be a hiking, biking, OHV, and 4x4. And we wanted to be able to have it a good experience for all of them. And so they can click on those icons and find out the trails that they're going to go.
Got drone videos, but it's not allowing me to do. Got that in my notes.
And one of the things that we really wanted to be this work as is when you're out on the trail, even if you don't have Wi-Fi, we want the user to be able to have the information on their device. So it's all downloadable and they can have it with them.
Pretty excited about it. I think it'll,
We're way excited and
Oh, yeah.
we're looking forward to phase 1 being done.
wonder if we could engage the hoteliers and stuff with a small, like, information card that, because I see in Laverkin, for example, at our grocery store, we have a lot of folks that are there shopping, and they're constantly asking the poor little checker outer lady information. She doesn't really have anything to tell them, and if she just had a little card or something that she could say, hey, go to this.
Some of the, you bring up a very good point. That's one of the things that we really, once we have this up and going, we didn't want to just do a little bit of information on all of the trails. We wanted to have all the information we could on some of the trails. And so that's why we've broken it down. Like we have 100 now, and then we're going to go for the next group of trails. But we want to meet with the lodging commission and groups. We want to go to the bike shops and these groups, some of the sporting goods stores, and talk to them and do training with them so they know how to access these. And we've talked about meeting with each of the jurisdictions. So yes, St. George may have really good maps and plans for the trails in their system or in their boundaries, but we're hoping that the cities will have links that will send people so they can find out all the trail information outside of their city boundaries.
I like it.
About stylizing the print mouse button, so you can see it's kind of basic right now, and it's showing what's on the page rather than directions to how to. So we talked about stylizing this so it should just be a flyer go in hotels, and then have the half cut version as well.
So are you including like Yankee Doodle and Poltergeist on this?
Mm-hmm.
So what, okay. So does it have notes, hey, you need a 200-foot rope?
That's one of the things that we need to make sure of. And there's some trails that you can't ride the e-bikes on or no motorized vehicles on. We want to try to have all those notes on those trails so that we're informing the user and no one's getting tickets or is going out there unprepared. We also want to make sure that, with the level of, whether it's an easy trail or not, we don't want people going out and getting lost on the trails or going, having just one bottle with them and it's an 8-mile trail and will take them 4 hours to do. We're hoping to have information in there. We even joked around, but we didn't go through with it, but about having like the number of water bottles you should have on this trail with you. We want to inform the people, and so hopefully it helps search and rescue and not becomes more work for them.
Hazards, needs, and text to 911 should be good.
Job security, Daryl,
Yeah.
job security.
Well, honestly, if you need some input on some of those trails that we normally go on to rescue people, we'll be happy to get with you and help you.
One of the things that we're looking at big picture, and try not to take too much time, is that we want to be able to track analytics of all of this, so we can see, track things, and this is something that Megan can really help out with GIS, is we track where the different incidents are happening, search and rescue or injuries, and we can track that, but we can also track where what trails are being used the most. And so if we have a trail, let's say a trail that's being heavily used, but it only has 3 parking spaces at the trailhead and no restroom facility, maybe just a porta potty, maybe that the data gives us the information that says, hey, you know, maybe if we're looking at doing some trail improvements, this would be one that we focus on.
Yeah, for a small price, Big Brother can tell you who downloads the app and where they go and how long they stayed there, so. Very good.
Well, thank you, Scott. I'm excited for that to get out. And I'm sure Daryl is also very excited to get out. Which brings us to our emergency service search and rescue operations report. This is like perfect timing. This is serendipitous.
Okay, I got time. Afternoon, Commissioners. I just wanted to know the Red Mountain Trail from Dameron on down. After the first mile, it doesn't exist. It just isn't there. That's why we get so many calls up there, get lost. All right, August 2018, we had 13 rescues between the last time I was here and now. So we're still running a pretty good pace every month. Like, it brings our total for the year to 88. I think we're gonna break 100. Not that I want to. So, July 17th, we had a lost hiker in Cedar Pockets. That was an agency assist with Mojave County. They requested we go down there. A gentleman was lost. He called his wife, or he texted her and said, hey honey, I'm lost and I'm out of water. Will you bring me some water?
Where was she at?
She was in St. George. She called us.
She was smart.
So, anyway, we found the gentleman across the river. We had to help him back across. It was right after a rainstorm. He apparently went down there to take a video of the flash flood that was supposedly coming on the other side of the river. Anyway, we got him out. He was checked and he was released. On the 23rd of July, we had a stranded vehicle in Babylon. The reason why we went on that is the vehicle was in a place where even a wrecker could not get to it. So the deputies called us and I sent a crew in. They got to the people, got them and their vehicle out. They said that their GPS, they were trying to make it to Cedar City and their GPS told them to go that way. On the 25th, we had a lost hiker up behind Tuacahn. Gentleman from Germany went on a hike, got himself on a ledge. We were not aware he had actually slipped and fall about 15 feet. And on that particular one, we had a hard time finding him because his GPS wasn't lining up. It was showing 3 miles to the west of where he was actually at. But anyway, we got up there. He was finally located just using binoculars. And they located him on the bridge. Search and rescue went up. In the meantime, our chief deputy and one of the search and rescue members used a drone, flew him up a bottle of water.
Oh, wow.
That was a good one for us. That was a new one. We've actually started using them a little bit more on some of our rescues. So then we had a possible drowning at Sand Hollow. That was on the 26th. We were called there by rangers. They had 2 girls missing, high winds, high water. Dive team responded. By the time they got there, one girl was already located, and right after the divers got there, they located the second one. So it actually turned out really well. On the 29th, we had an injured hiker on the MIA trail. That one's been a good one this year. We've been on it multiple times. There were 3 hikers on there. One of them got injured, so one of them hiked all the way out, got to where he could text. And we sent a crew in, found out the gentleman that was injured had actually fallen, and he had a dislocated shoulder. Nothing too serious, so we helped him get his shoulder back in and got him out.
Was he doing Kolob Creek?
I think so. They were down at the bottom, just at the exit where it comes out the MIA.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
yeah, they start at the top, go down, and a lot of them are missing that exit too.
It's easy to miss.
Yes, and we've been on some on that too, where they've gotten lost and not ever shown up. On the 30th of July, we had a UTV accident on Sand Mountain. 2 subjects rolled UTV, and a 18-year-old girl had a severe hand injury. Her 15-year-old brother, you can see the seatbelt mark across it. We actually went up there with Hurricane EMS and Dr. Crosby from the ER, who was our medical director. Says, hey, you want me to come? I said, yeah, come. So we went up there, and it worked really well. We got the girl off, we got her brother off. I'm not sure if she got to keep her finger, but it still worked very well. It was not life-threatening. Let's see. On the 4th, we had an injured horse rider in Pine Valley. Got called on that. Apparently, the gentleman got off his horse kicked him and broke his leg. That was our report. We got there, we found him. With Enterprise EMS, we got him out. He went to the hospital, found out it wasn't broken. But it looked like it was. It was big hematoma on the side of his leg. But his wife made him go in the ambulance. She goes, no, I'm not giving you a ride. You have to go in the ambulance. On the 7th, we had an illness on the Gem Trail, which is up there above Hurricane. Deputies, Hurricane, EMS, and Search and Rescue went on this gentleman. He was acting unusual, which is why the deputies were there. Anyway, he was found not acting right. They took him, brought him back to the ambulance. Deputies took him to the hospital and admitted him. And yes, there's more of a story, but I really don't want to say it. And then on the 8th, there were stranded subjects on Apex Road. 2 people went out in a passenger car, got stuck the night before, could not get any help. They ended up walking out, ran out of water, so they called for help. And Gold Cross and Search and Rescue went out, located them both, assessed them, took the girl back, sent her into the hospital. The guy refused any help, and Search and Rescue helped him go back and get his vehicle and get it out. We had a lost person on Manganese Road. You know where that is? He was out in the desert for 2.5 days. By the time we found a starting point, we finally found his ATV and we had a starting point. He was located. He was treated by EMS and taken to the RMC. He said he'd been drinking out of cow troughs out there. So hopefully he's not too ill. We had an agency assist in Cedar City. Cedar Fire called and asked if we had a couple of dogs we could send up to help them with a house fire, which I don't know if better or not, but they went up to help them. They wanted cadaver dogs, so obviously that one did not turn out real great. And then Zion National Park called us on that gentleman that was missing up there on that trail. We went up and assisted them on the 15th, and then we had a lost hiker on Red Mountain on the 19th, 2 days ago. And she just got off trail, couldn't find her way out, so we went in and found her and brought her out.
Would it be possible to do cairns along that trail? Because I've gotten lost along that mountain and wander back and forth. Is that a wilderness issue? Or?
It's a wilderness issue. That is the problem. The trailhead looks really great on SR18, and it looks really good in Ivans. But after you get about a mile in either way, there's a lot of blow sand, a lot of things, and they will not put any markers in there. That's where we're ending up with a lot of people getting lost over into Hellhole and other places. So it's something that we'd have to talk to the Desert Reserve and the BLM to see if there's some way we could assist with them giving some sort of a direction to people that are using it.
It's signs up in the wilderness. There's signs all over the wilderness.
All I know is we were told that there were to be no signs, and we asked them when they were not working. Some of our guys would be happy to go and put some in, but we wouldn't. But we did tease them about it. But no, it is wilderness, and that's the problem. That one.
It shouldn't stop signs.
No, I mean, I've seen signs in wilderness all over.
I think what the sign would have to be is hand carved.
Yeah, whittled.
We got inmates that would be happy to do that.
Yeah, I mean, even Karens, if they would allow Karens because they're somewhat natural, it probably would be helpful.
Yeah.
We might approach BLM and see if they would let us do something like that. It actually entails quite a bit of expense for the frequency of rescues.
Well, and one of the things you could use is that every time we go in there to rescue somebody, we're taking ATVs and UTVs. So it would reduce that impact if they would allow it to be
Considerably
more.
then.
Yeah. So,
When you drop off the Red Mountain, though, I can't believe how many people don't know that's the trail. I mean, it's not a nice trail, but
well, and there's the one off the other side, which is very difficult. We get a lot of people that try that one and get ledged up. Ropes. Any other questions, Commissioner?
Oh, thank you.
No, thank you.
And-
Appreciate you.
We appreciate all your support with search and rescue too.
Please
You guys do very much.
Please express our appreciation of the search and rescue efforts as well. 13 rescues in the last 2 weeks, that's keeping them busy.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a very. I keep hoping for it to stop for a little while, but it's not. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
okay, moving on the agenda, we'll go to the agenda. We'll go to item number 5, which is consideration and approval of the 2018-2019 URS, which is the Utah State Retirement System Employment Contribution Rates, and Clerk Auditor Kim Hafen.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. When we approved the budget for 2018, URS is on a fiscal year, and so the only finalized rates we had were from June of 17 to June of 18. So now we have the rates that are from July 1st of 18 to June 30th of 19. There was no change. They give us an estimate when we do budgets, so we can put that in, and there was no changes from their estimate, so those rates are the same as they have been, and they have been that way pretty stable for the last 4 or 5 years. This is kind of a formality from our auditors to have those approved.
Thank you.
With that, Mr.
That's
Chairman,
consideration and approval, so you're going to make a motion?
I'll make the motion that we approve 2018-2019 URS employer contribution rates.
And I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item number 6, consideration of ordinance number 2018-1119-0, an ordinance rezoning a certain portion of Washington County near Brookside from RE40 zone to an A10 zone, hereafter fully described in this ordinance. Scott.
So the Middletons own some property up in the Brookside area off of Berry Lane. The property is 10 acres in size, and it's currently zoned residential estate 40,000 square feet. They have requested to there's an existing home on the property. They're requesting to rezone the property to A10, the agricultural 10 acre. The primary reason for that is just because of the number of animals that are permitted in the agricultural zones. It was reviewed by the Planning Commission in their meeting last week, and they unanimously recommended approval of the zone change to the County Commission. I can go into more detail if you'd like.
So it's apparently a fairly large 10-acre parcel.
Yeah,
and-
it's
and
10-acre parcel.
You feel it's far enough removed from the homes that it would
Yes.
work out fine?
Yeah, and it was publicly noticed, and there were some people in the audience, but no one spoke against it.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion in support of ordinance number 2018-1119-0, an ordinance rezoning a certain portion of Washington County near Brookside from RE40 residential estates, 40,000 square foot minimum lot size zone, to the A10 agricultural 10 acre minimum lot size zone, hereinafter fully described in this ordinance.
Mr. Chairman, I will second that motion.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Passes. Item number 7 is consideration of ordinance number 2018-1120-0, an ordinance amending the county code regarding accessory dwellings. Scott.
Okay, and our code currently has it so that an accessory dwelling is the term that's used for like a casita or mother-in-law apartment. And previously we had not allowed people to rent those separate from the main dwelling. As we've looked at some of the affordable housing issues that we're facing not only in our county but in the state, we saw it as a benefit to be able to allow people to be able to rent out their accessory dwelling. What we ended up doing is we ended up making it so that if the primary dwelling is owner occupied, then the accessory dwelling could be rented out. This is a way, because we have larger lots in the unincorporated areas, that the impact is not as significant or maybe reduced than, for instance, like St. George or Santa Clara would have, renting out their accessory dwellings in those areas. And we felt like this was a type of housing that could be available for newlyweds, college students, single parents. Accessory dwellings have been permitted as a conditional use in all of our residential zones and agricultural zones, anywhere that a home's allowed, for a number of years. So Planning Commission was in favor of this ordinance amendment. We made some of the changes that they recommended. We got some really good input from the Planning Commission on it. And I'll be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
What did the main input focus on?
The main input, some of the concerns were, could utilities handle that? Does it change the overall feel of the community? And, what are some of the side effects that could have, unintended consequences that could happen? We felt like because accessory dwellings are out there already and there's quite a few people already renting them out, but we know it's happening, and so we want to be able to allow people to be able to do that. And with the utilities, anytime you get an accessory dwelling, anytime it's approved, it needs to get the building permit, and so it's reviewed by the Health Department, the Water Conservancy District, Ash Creek Special Service District. They're all involved in that. And so, in the way that they handle things through the health department and the size of the septic has to do with the number of bedrooms. And so it's looked at that way, whether it's full-time or part-time people staying there.
Very good. Do you think this makes a material impact on the density of areas in the unincorporated county? I mean, this really only impacts the unincorporated area. What's your thought on that?
It could.
How many homes have these types of?
I don't have the numbers on that. I mean, we end up usually every month we have someone coming in requesting. So, I would say a dozen to 2 dozen a year. But I could come up with those numbers for you.
But it certainly, I visited with one person who was afraid that it would effectively double the density, but I think a very small percentage of actual homes have
correct
eligible and qualifying type of structures, and so I think it's very de minimis.
Mm-hmm.
It also, commissioners, the way the ordinance is written, it doesn't allow for a duplex type of situation. The owner of the home has to be occupying the larger portion in order to rent out the smaller portion.
And can we enforce that? Are we requiring the business to get a business license to lease the CETA?
So what the county does, some municipalities and jurisdictions have rental dwelling license programs, which require anyone, for instance, Provo has it, anyone that rents a property in Provo has to get a rental dwelling license. In the county, we don't regulate long-term, but the short-term or tourist homes, we do require people to get a business license for that, and that in turn, that business license requires them to register with the state and pay the transient room tax.
And so if a complaint were made and they pointed out that an absentee owner is renting both the main dwelling and the casita, they would then be in violation of the ordinance?
Correct.
And the county would be able to take an enforcement action?
Correct.
Okay.
So my concerns are still about the impacts of utilities, because with the accessory, and educate me here. So if they can still build a fairly good sized building and have multiple bathrooms in there, multiple uses in that accessory dwelling, do they have, That's going to double the amount of water and double the amount of septic that could be on a system.
Yeah, they have to receive all the approvals and the will serve letters from the Water Conservancy District and Health Department. So we have to get all the approvals from that. So if they have to build a really large septic system, you know, there'll be PERT tests done and all the tests that are required with any septic system in the county to be able to handle the load. And so if there's an area that, you know, the septic density is maxed out and there's not room for it, they wouldn't be permitted.
So like on item number 13, so on page 3, item 13, halfway through that paragraph, it says, this sentence starts, a will serve letter for each utility company and service provider shall accompany the application. So why would we cross that line out? Why wouldn't we keep that if we're trying to make sure that...
Mine doesn't have page numbers, so.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's 10-13-18, item number 13. That's just the section 13 deals with utilities.
And wouldn't that be at the time of construction? Once the building's constructed under a permit process, all of that should have been verified, whether it's an accessory dwelling for someone that's not related to the people that own it, or whether they have grandma.
And I guess that's my question is, I could see somebody having grandma living back there, then she passes away, and they go to rent it. That's my question, like, I just don't wanna, I know some of these systems are, like, we've got feedback, some of these systems are getting close to their capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And the septic systems are getting close to their capacity. Then if all of a sudden we're charging those systems with more use, I just wanna make sure those those water companies and everything knows what's going on.
Yeah, you know, some of it is happening that we don't know about,
Right.
a lot of it. But, you know, we really tried to monitor it. When we were going through this ordinance, met with representatives from Ash Creek. I talked to the health department about it, and we had a lot of discussions about it, and they felt like our current process for approving accessory dwellings and single-family dwellings covers everything.
But I guess you're saying that, but then we're taking out specifically, right now we require a will serve letter,
Yes.
and now we're taking that out.
I think because it says it somewhere else in there under just the building permit, if I remember right. I couldn't find it in here. I apologize. I grabbed the
And
wrong
if that's where it's getting
paperwork.
picked up, that's fine, but I
Yeah.
just wanna make sure.
Yeah, we want to make sure that they have a will serve. I believe that the reason why we crossed it out there is because it's mentioned other places in our code. But I'll review that if you want to include that as part of the motion that we verify that, or unscratch that and keep it included in there.
So unless I can get that confirmed, I would say this to my other commissioners on paragraph 13, I would like to keep in that sentence as a will service letter for each utility is required, unless we can get verified some other way.
Okay.
So, wouldn't that be something we just leave for the special service districts to worry about?
We have a lot of private water companies and. Because I know like Pine Valley.
Our ordinance already allows these to be built, permitting process for them. I really hate to get into the weeds of having somebody say how many people are gonna live in any one bedroom. They'll sell the home no matter what, somebody else will buy it, circumstance will change. And so, I personally am very comfortable if we follow our process and have the recognition that utility connections are proper and made at the time that the building permit is secured. I just see no reason that if they want to rent this to their mother-in-law, they follow one process, and if they want to rent it to their son and daughter-in-law, they have to follow another process. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And so
So I agree what you're saying, but I just, and that's my question though, is even if grandma's moving into like Pine Valley Water, it's a private water company. people have come to me this year and said, hey, we ran out of water. So if all of a sudden we build 50 casitas up there, and we have 50 more grandmas living up there in their separate homes, that would tax that irrigation or water company, and I just want to make
But
sure.
wouldn't the responsibility of will serve letters would come at the point of building
is
permit?
built.
And that's
Yes.
if
That's the
that,
point.
if I know for sure it's
Yes.
there,
Yes,
then I'm fine with it. Because I get what you're saying.
And so that's what I'm saying, it shouldn't be tied to the rental process at all.
I
It
agree.
should be tied to the construction
Yeah.
process. As long as it's tied to the construction process, I'm okay with.
I am too, but I don't know if it is.
And Commissioner, if we don't have a will serve requirement in there for a building permit, because we do require those, right?
Yes.
So if we don't have that in there, then we should put that in the code, not in our accessory dwelling section, but in our
Permitting.
building permit
and
section.
I don't have my iPad to look up the code right now to see if it is in there, but I'm pretty sure that was the
Yeah.
reason why we scratched it.
I agree with you. If someone's living in it and then there's a change, we should make them go through different sections, but I just want to make sure
Mhm.
that's, because I use my values.
Well, I agree with you too. I think the time and place for that is when they pull the permit for it. Because once the structure is built, we effectively lose our power. And so,
Well, would you do that? Will you double check that it's in our?
Oh, absolutely.
And if it's not, come back to us.
Mhm.
Make sure it's in there.
Yeah, oh, we'll make sure it's in there.
Thank you.
So, I'm comfortable with making a motion to go ahead and pass this, and we just clarify the, is that okay? So, I'll make a motion that we adopt ordinance 2018-1120-0, an ordinance amending county code regarding accessory dwellings.
I'll second motion.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Scott promises to come back and
Yeah.
report.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. Item number 8, consideration of resolution number R-2018-2361, a resolution appointing a board member for the RAP distribution advisory board. And I have taken the lead on contacting the individuals that have submitted applications. This is fulfilling just an individual that's retired just shortly, so this is just a short period of term. But I did have an opportunity to call the individuals that submitted applications. I really enjoyed speaking to all the individuals. At this time, after going through that and looking at applications, I would like to make the recommendation that we appoint Diamond McPherson. He has an extensive history of working with small arts organizations and also making donations. I've confirmed with him that he's not receiving any funds. He is associated with the St. George Musical Theater, but he actually makes contributions to them and with that several others. So with that, I would make the recommendation we appoint Diamond McPherson to fulfill the remaining term of J.J. Abernathy. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
You made the motion? Or you're accepting a motion?
I'm accepting a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion appointing Diamond McPherson to the RAP Advisory Board, term ending December 31st, 2018.
And I'll second that motion.
Here we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Item number 9, consideration of resolution number R-2018-2362, a resolution authorizing the filing of a cross appeal for the 2018 centrally assessed property. Mr. Clark.
Commissioners, this is similar to an item you had on your agenda either the last meeting or the meeting before with centrally assessed properties. Property owners have appealed these, they're state value properties, and the mechanism for the county to be involved in that appeal and know what's going on is to join in that appeal at this point. We have a deadline on whether we can cross appeal on these. The companies that have appealed are CenturyLink, AT&T, Intermountain Power, SkyWest, and Union Pacific Railroad. UAC says that there's $100 of Union Pacific Railroad somewhere in this county. Kim's question,
They have a piece of property that has a tower on it.
so a repeater station of some sort. So, those are the ones that have appealed that we have an interest in. And Brian Graff, the attorney's office here, he can speak to the specifics of any of those if you'd like, or simply vote to join those as has been our policy for the last 20 years.
Well, tell them if they build a spur into Enterprise so they can pick up hay cubes. Waive that $100.
I'd be happy to make a motion in support of Resolution R 2018-2362, a resolution authorizing the filing of cross appeals for 2018 central assessed properties.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item number 10 is consideration of resolution number R-2018-2363, a resolution approving the renaming of a portion of the East Baker Dam Road to Homestead Ranch Road. This item had been tabled once before. And who's on that? Scott. Scott's left.
Scott asked me if I would be willing to stand up if you had any questions.
So I think this is,
I can speak to this.
Sure, go for it.
If you'd like to. Baker Dam Road is, I believe, a very well-known road in Washington County. It's a favorite watering hole for a lot of people like to go drown worms, which is generally what I do, but others catch fish. But what a lot of people haven't recognized, there's a small spur extension from Baker Dam Reservoir that runs almost exclusively to the Homestead Ranch. And the Homestead Ranch has petitioned the county to name just that spur from the Baker Dam Reservoir to the ranch, Homestead Ranch Road. And we've talked about this. We've had input from our Public Works Department, and Ron, I believe, is recommending approval of this, and based on that, I would make a motion that we support Resolution R 2018-2363, a resolution approving the renaming of a portion of East Baker Dam Road to Homestead Ranch Road.
And I'll second that motion.
I know I've had discussions with UDOT, and I know you have, and the discussions I've been told with UDOT, if we rename this portion, then we can't put a sign out there with an arrow.
That's correct. Where the road name transitions to the name of another road, they will allow us to put up sign on 18 with both road names, and I've cleared that personally with UDOT.
So would you accept a friendly motion that we put in here, do that, whereas we allow that, we get that sign moving? I don't know the technical term, but
I don't know that we really need the motion, because it will be a county road, and the extension of that road will be that name. I don't think a resolution or amendment we put on it will be binding on UDOT anyway.
yeah, I get what you're saying.
So I think that we could just make the argument with UDOT that
Get it up
a
there.
portion of the road is named Baker Dam Road, and the terminus of it is named Homestead Ranch Road. We would like a sign with both names.
Okay.
But I just don't think our resolution is
No,
going to
right.
matter.
Right, okay. So we do have a motion, and we do have a second, so we'll go ahead and take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Item number 11 is consideration of resolution number R-2018-2364, resolution authorizing the use of county funds to purchase a fire engine for the Rockville-Springdale Fire District. Or,
Yeah, either way, this is,
okay.
so, the Rockville Springdale Fire District has obtained approval to purchase a new engine through grant and loan funds from the Community Impact Board. However, the process of getting those funds released takes some time. Chief Coleman has found an engine that was a demo engine that we can get at a screaming deal, but we need to move on that quickly. And so what we're proposing is that the commission authorize the use of county funds to purchase that engine, with the understanding that after the process has been gone through, that CIB funds for the district will come back through and be returned to the county. We did something similar to this a couple of years ago. You guys have an updated resolution in front of you. The attorney for the CIB added a couple of paragraphs at the bottom clarifying that it's the Municipal Building Authority of Washington County that'll be moving forward with that process. You guys can't take action to bind Building Authority right now because you're sitting as a county commission, not as Municipal Building Authority, but I don't have any objections to language if you'd like to adopt that resolution. It's changed.
But then, if we do that, the Municipal Building Authority, we would have to do it at a later time as that board.
Yeah. This is signaling more than anything else.
Should we put any language as we vote on this resolution that we understand that we're not binding Washington County?
I think what this is allowing, though, is, and anybody can speak up if I'm wrong, this is going to allow the county to use its funds to procure an engine, and we're still going to pursue the Community Impact Board grant funding process.
Okay.
But time is of the essence. And Chief, maybe you could come up and tell us why time is of the essence and what you found and why you're recommending that we take this action.
Thank you, Commissioner Cox. As we move forward, this Community Impact Board funding took place over a year ago, and so time is of the essence. Made the appropriate contacts with Candace Powers from their office to make sure that we could still execute the agreement. Because of that notice, the way we did that, she has extended the time frame, move forward on this funding. It all falls directly under the rules and is allowable. In the process, we went out and we spec'd an engine that we would need to have. When the process started a year and a half ago or so, they also did a specification on an engine. That engine came back at about, I think, $498,000. Because of steel increases and other things, that exact same engine with a different powertrain on it than what we would normally spec has gone up to, what is that one? Went up to $564,877. I anticipate there's more steel costs coming on the way. So we can still go back and do a custom engine. These demo engines, there's 4 of them currently that are out from the manufacturer that they got the spec from. They're very similar to what we would spec for Rockville Springdale. Got some upgrades and some things that we normally wouldn't put on, but they come in at about a $50,000 savings because they are demo engines. The other benefit is the engines that are there, as their board chief realized a year or so ago, they needed some upgrading and some tender living care to keep them on the road. This is approved tonight. I'll be issuing a purchase order tomorrow, and that engine will start back through the line in Appleton, Wisconsin, and will probably be here in less than 40 days, as opposed to 10 to 12 months.
Oh, well. Okay.
It allows us to provide better security and safety for those citizens in Rockville Springdale with an engine that.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Well, with that, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt Resolution R-2018-2364, a resolution authorizing the use of county funds to purchase a fire engine for Rockville Springdale Fire District.
That's with the amended language.
With the amended language, with the updated version.
I will second that motion.
Right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Consideration of resolution number R-2018-2365, a resolution authorizing Randall Larson to serve as legal counsel for the proposed Harmony Heights Special Assessment Area. And Mr. Clark?
Commissioners, a number of residents in the Harmony Heights area have come to the county and asked to have the roads in their subdivision paved. The process of looking into whether to, how we fund that. Typically, those are funded by a special fee assessed on those properties that benefit that. State legislature has tweaked that process pretty regularly, and it's quite a cumbersome process. And so my recommendation is that we engage with bond counsel and have bond counsel walk us through that process. The special assessment area and bonding are things, and it's something that Randy has done. He is our bond counsel. It's the person we've used for every bond since I've been here. And he said that his office has done this before, they're qualified to do it, and he's happy to walk us through just an engagement letter with him.
Hey, I believe that's wise. We've used Mr. Larson extensively, and we haven't had any problem working. So I think as frequently as we do this, we will be well served by having an attorney with Mr. Larson's credentials. I make a motion to, in support of Resolution R 2018-2365, resolution authorizing Randall Larson to serve as legal counsel for the proposed Harmony Heights Special Assessment Area.
I'll second that motion.
The motion is second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item number 13 is Commissioner Report. Now, I'd just like to welcome Cheyenne Bentley back. Attorney Lee, let's have you back. Mr. Cox, Commissioner Iverson, do you have anything?
No, not.
I don't, but I extend likewise. It's going to be great to have everyone back.